I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer of my Snap-on box. Hey, what's up guys? This is MJ100K and today we are going to answer the question, what are the best years for a used Toyota Corolla under $15,000? And that's going to be the 11th generation Corolla, which runs from 2014 to 2017. The Toyota Corolla has been in production since 1966, and during that time it has earned a reputation for being a very reliable used car. In fact, when I worked at Toyota, I read an internal article that was written about the Corolla. To sum it up, the article stated that Toyota's mission for the Corolla was to make a safe, reliable, used car that had a level of quality that was higher than the competition. They wanted the customer to feel like they got more than their money's worth. Apparently, that mission was successful. Since its introduction in 1966, over 50 million people have purchased Corollas, making it the best-selling car of all time. Let me just say that again. The Toyota Corolla is the best-selling car of all time.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
So let's talk about why I think the 11th generation is the best Corolla for under $15,000. Reason number one is the transmission. The 11th generation is the last year Corolla that offers the 4-speed automatic transmission as an option. For the 11th generation, you could also get a Cvt transmission or a manual transmission. I would much rather get either the 4-speed automatic or the manual transmission. The Cvt is good, but I'd rather have the old school technology that has no bugs to be worked out. Besides, getting the Cvt only increases the fuel efficiency by about 2 miles per gallon. So not really a huge difference. Besides, they have been making that 4-speed automatic transmission forever. So listen, I understand that for new cars, people tend to prefer to get the latest and greatest technology. But when it comes to used cars, I'm looking for the older, proven technology. I want to lower the chance of a major repair bill as much as possible. And that 4-speed automatic transmission is Matrix level bulletproof. So look, my 2004 Toyota Camry also has a 4-speed automatic transmission, and it has over 272,000 miles on it. That's with the original transmission. It's never been rebuilt. In fact, I drove it today and it shifts just fine and dandy like it always has. So when I'm doing maintenance on my own car, all I do is drain and fill the automatic transmission fluid every 50,000 miles with the original OEM fluid. I've changed the filter like once. So doing the maintenance on the car is really important, but also I drive the car nice and slow, nice and normal, not like a race car. So look, transmissions are essentially a wear item, so eventually it may need to be replaced. But if the transmission on my Toyota Camry or on this Toyota Corolla goes out one day, it's pretty cheap to replace it because the car is super easy to work on. Also, for this generation Toyota Corolla, they sold over 300,000 of them each year, so there are plenty of parts available for it. Reason number two why I like this Corolla is the engine. The Corolla has a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine that gets 132 horsepower. When it's mated to the 4-speed automatic transmission, it gets 27 miles per gallon in the city and 35 on the highway. I like the 1.8 liter engine because it has a timing chain, so you don't have to worry about changing any timing belts. It's very unlikely that the chain's ever going to break as long as you do all the oil changes on time. The fuel pump, as usual in Toyotas, is under the back seat, so if it ever does go bad, it's super easy to replace. So even a rookie mechanic should be able to replace this fuel pump in under an hour. Also, it's a pretty easy job for do-it-yourselfers to do as well. But take my advice, get the fuel pump from the dealership parts department directly. I know it's going to cost more, but the quality is going to be way higher than getting an aftermarket fuel pump. Another thing that I like about this generation Corolla is that it does not have a direct injection fuel system, which means that the rest of the fuel system is also less complicated and easier to work on. Reason number three why I like these Corollas is that many of these Corollas started off their life as rental cars. During my research for this video, I found that a lot of the Corollas I was looking at online were originally used as rental cars. So typically, most people will recommend against getting a used car that was previously used as a rental car. That's because people have the perception that rental cars are abused. I used to agree with that statement. However, I've recently begun to change my opinion on that. So check this out. A couple years ago when I was shopping for a Ram ProMaster van, I came across one that had been previously used as a rental vehicle. So I decided to talk to one of my friends who was actually a manager at a rental car company. So I told her my concern that rental vehicles may have been neglected, and she told me that rental cars are actually well taken care of. They religiously change the oil and do all of the maintenance that's recommended by the OEM. Also, rental cars are frequently washed and detailed. So I actually ended up buying that Ram ProMaster van, and it was a very good vehicle with very few problems. So since then, I've been okay with getting a car that's been used as a rental, as long as it's not like a sports car like a Mustang or a Corvette or something. Then you know somebody was probably beating on it. So I think the Corolla may be safe from wannabe race car drivers because, well, I mean, it's a Corolla. How fast is it going to go anyway? So while other buyers may avoid cars that have been used as rental cars, you may be able to get in there and get a deal on one. Just make sure to check the maintenance records on the car's Carfax report. Sometimes they're on there. I made a video on exactly how to do this online and for free in most cases. Now link that video in the description if you want to check it out. Also make sure that you have your car checked out by an actual mechanic before you buy it. Do not rely on the warranties that they're giving you for these cars. Many times these warranty companies will use the cheapest parts available whenever they have to approve a repair, which means you're probably not going to get those OEM parts, and sometimes they'll make you use junkyard parts. So that's bogus as far as I'm concerned. You want to use the OEM parts and the OEM fluids, or you are asking for trouble. Okay, so before we get into common problems for the Corolla, I want to make a quick note. According to Nhtsa.gov, the only Corollas affected by the Takata airbag recall were made between 2003 and 2013. The years I'm recommending today are made between 2014 and 2017. So this generation shouldn't be affected. So I'll put a link in the description to Htsa's website if you'd like more information on the Takata airbag recall. So on to common problems. Even though the Corolla is the best-selling car of all time, it is not perfect. So in my research, I found that there may be a problem with the Cvt transmission in some of these Corollas. See why I recommended the 4-speed? So I'll put a link in the description to the forum that I found this information on. It's called corollaforum.com. Also, a YouTube page called Enthusiast Garage made a video on this issue, and I'll link his video in the description as well. It's probably not going to be that big of a deal for you. By the time the car gets to you, this issue has probably already been addressed. So what you could do is you could call your local dealership with your VIN number to see if this issue has already been addressed, and if it hasn't, what you could do going forward. Okay, to sum it up, the Toyota Corolla is an excellent used car choice, but don't just run to the dealership and grab the first Toyota Corolla that you see. You have to do your due diligence to make sure that the specific Corolla that you're looking at is in tip-top shape. So as always, that is going to include having an actual mechanic check out the vehicle before you buy it. And also make sure to try to screen the previous owner like I talked about in my video that I linked in the description. And if you have any comments, please put them in the comments down below. So if you own one of these vehicles, please put in the comments down below what has been your experience. Has it been good? Has it been bad? And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments down below. I try to answer all questions as soon as possible. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.